The marathon broadcast continues with the team from the We Are Ukraine channel. Everything most important at this moment right now. I'm Ihor Pupkov. Let's begin. At this very moment, hundreds of drones are launching a massive attack on Moscow. In the Russian capital, the Transneft oil refinery and a petroleum loading station are on fire. In Dubna, near Moscow, drones struck the Russian machine building design bureau, Raduga, which specializes in the development of cruise missiles. A fire also broke out at the Angstrom enterprise, which is a manufacturer of semiconductors and semiconductor products. The facility is under US sanctions. Moscow Mayor Sobyanin reports that air defense allegedly shoots down drones, while local residents actively share footage of such shootdowns. Enemy systems traditionally bring down drones onto residential buildings. There is extensive destruction with fatalities and injuries. The debris from one of the drones fell on the territory of Sheremetyevo airport. Drones also visited temporarily occupied Crimea last night. After the drone raid, a fire broke out in the area of the Kacha and Belbek airfields near Sevastopol, where the Russians store fighter jets and air defense systems. Monitoring channels report hits on enemy radar complexes and strikes on a center for storing and launching attack drones. Last night, the enemy also launched a massive drone attack. Zaporozhye, Dnipro, Sumy and Kharkiv came under attack. In the Zaporozhye district, a gas station was hit. A fire broke out there. The regional military administration reports that a woman who happened to be near the impact site was injured. In Dnipro, a drone struck a private house. It caught fire instantly. A 70-year-old woman was hospitalized in serious condition. And the Russian drone attack on Kharkiv continued until morning. Less than an hour ago, according to the city council, an impact was recorded in the Shevchenkivsky district. The consequences are still being clarified. Drones also fell in 3 other districts during the night. The most destruction occurred in Saltivka. In apartment buildings, the blast wave shattered windows and damaged the street lighting network. About a dozen cars were completely burned out. According to the city mayor, most of the enemy drones heading for Kharkiv were neutralized. Today is the day of remembrance for the victims of political repression committed by the Soviet totalitarian regime. According to various historians' estimates, Ukraine lost nearly 4.5 million citizens who were executed, imprisoned, or sent to labor camps. One of the largest mass burial sites of victims of Stalinist repressions is the Bykivnia forest near Kyiv. The heaviest fighting on the front over the past day was in the Pokrovsk direction, where the enemy launched assaults 23 times. Our defenders eliminated 46 occupiers, wounded 14, destroyed and damaged vehicles and special equipment, an electronic warfare station and infantry shelters, as well as 3 cannons and 5 drone control points. On the southern Slobozhansky direction, our defense forces are holding back the enemy in the areas of Vovchansk and Staritsia in the Kharkiv region. They are not allowing the Russians to advance on the northern Slobozhansky and Kursk directions, where there were 16 battles. Another 17 took place in Zaporozhye on the Huliaipol section of the front. Russia continues to use Western technologies in the production of missiles for strikes against Ukraine. This was demonstrated by the strike the aggressor country carried out on May 14th against Kyiv, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated. That is why it is necessary to continue sanction pressure on Russia to cut off all supply channels for components used in the production of missiles and drones.
In this week's strike on Kyiv, the Russians used missiles that were manufactured this year. Without components from companies in Europe, Japan and the United States, the Russians simply would not have been able to make these missiles. The same goes for most of the other weapons these degenerates use to strike our cities and the ordinary homes of Ukrainians.
While Russia terrorizes Ukraine almost every night with hundreds of Shakheds and missiles, our air defense is evolving right in the midst of the war. Now, the sky is protected not only by anti-aircraft systems, but also by interceptor drones. Which of them is more effective at hunting aerial targets, and how do they work together to prevent enemy objects from reaching Ukrainian cities? In a joint report with Army TV.
Target destroyed.
These are our anti-aircraft gunners taking down enemy Shakheds and missiles. The sky is protected by interceptor drones and anti-aircraft missile systems. So which of them is more effective?
Got it. Target destroyed.
Enemy aerial objects are detected more quickly by interceptor drones since their crews are positioned closer to the line of combat, although they also operate at medium range and in the rear. Russian UAVs shoot down Ukrainian P-1 SAM drones, as well as a similar model, the Sting.
In the past month, we have shot down more than 100 targets. We are engaged in intercepting aerial targets such as Shakhed, Gerbera, Molnia, and reconnaissance UAVs, including ones like Zala, Zala Cube, Supercam, Orlan, and so on.
Another advantage of interceptor drones over other air defense systems is the price. They are cheaper. Besides that, you can bring the drone back if, for example, another crew has already shot down the enemy target. And this is the British Stormer anti-aircraft system. It hunts down those enemy drones that the interceptor drone failed to hit.
This is a very effective, good machine. If it gets to us, then, well, there's a 90+% chance that we'll shoot it down.
There are two types of missiles, LMM and HVM. We mainly use LMMs. They're more effective.
Attention, LMM.
The Storm doesn't just take down drones, but also missiles.
This machine, well, has shot down all kinds of targets, Shakheds, reconnaissance drones, strike drones like the Lancet.
There was even a case where it shot down a cruise missile. Got it. Target destroyed.
One of the advantages of the Storm is that it's easier for it to spot a target than for a drone since it has a thermal imager. And this machine is also armored.
Lancets have hit this machine and others like it. As you can see, this one was hit too, but it's still alive. Only a mark remains as a reminder.
So, which air defense system works better?
Honestly, it's the interceptors that shoot down more targets. They come to you less often.
And whatever gets past the interceptor drones will be destroyed by the Storm air defense system?
Thank God you know it gets shot down regardless, whether by them or by us. It's good that it doesn't fall on people's heads.
The more targets that are shot down, the fewer will manage to reach our cities and our guys on the ground.
So interceptor drones and anti-aircraft systems don't compete, they complement each other. And it's precisely this kind of multi-layered air defense that delivers results. More and more Russian drones and missiles are failing to reach Ukrainian cities. Victoria Yarishko, Army TV, We Are Ukraine, United News Marathon.
Europe should not give in to Kremlin provocations or enter into direct negotiations with Russia. This is the opinion of Estonia's Foreign Minister Margus Tsakhna. According to the diplomat, Moscow has intensified its attempts to establish contacts with EU countries against the backdrop of its declining economy and its inability to achieve progress in the 5th year of the full-scale invasion. Here's the quote.
We are not very positive about this idea that everyone is rushing to Moscow and proposing to start negotiations just because Russia is getting weaker. Now is not the time. Margus Tsakhna, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Estonia.